it's me, Kendra T, the SLP. Today I am talking about my new webinar, Teletherapy Hacks, tips and strategies for school SLPs who are doing teletherapy. First, why did I create this webinar? Well, because I enjoy doing teletherapy and I'm pretty good at it. Also, because people ask me for it. They ask me questions and ask for a webinar or a course or coaching or something about doing teletherapy in the schools. And the third reason why I created this webinar is because here we are, a year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half into this pandemic. And even though schools are back in session, we're still doing teletherapy. We still have a need to do it. It's very necessary for us to continue to get comfortable doing teletherapy and feel confident doing teletherapy, because we have kids that are in and out of school for quarantine. We ourselves might be in and out of school for quarantine. And we want to be able to still deliver services if we can safely. And even though the kids are back in school, teletherapy is still necessary for the not so new need or request of us to be in multiple places at one time, or in a short time frame. We cover multiple schools. We get asked to do last minute evaluations and screenings at another school, and we can use teletherapy to supplement some of those needs and meet those needs and provide the services without running ourselves ragged. So teletherapy is still very necessary for us to be doing, practicing, building our skills in, and being more confident in doing. My advice when you're completing this webinar is to watch, take notes, write down your questions. Once you purchase the webinar, I will put you in a Facebook group where you can ask those questions or set up individual coaching calls. In my Teletherapy Hacks webinar, you will get 4 modules of hacks. Module 1 is Tech Hacks. These are tips and hacks for the tools that you'll need for teletherapy, the platform that you'll be using. I give some specific tips for certain platforms because they need it. And also, you'll get tips and hacks for setting up access for your students and yourself. In Module 2, you will get therapy model hacks. This is where I talk about using a therapy model for teletherapy. You can use it for in-person therapy as well, but it also works really well for teletherapy. Module 3, activity hacks. This is suggestions for how to find and create great teletherapy activities, easy teletherapy activities. Y'all know, overall, my advice is to kiss. Keep it simple, SLP, when it comes to activities. Module 4 is behavior hacks. Keeping these kids in line can be a big challenge in teletherapy. So I tell you some things that are research-based and things that have worked for me. Also, with the webinar, you get a downloadable PDF workbook. This gives some checklists and some note-keeping pages and some reflection questions of things that I talk about in the webinar. The webinar is about 45 minutes long, and hopefully it's not only informative and enlightening, but also enjoyable. With my webinar, you can pull it up on demand, download your workbook or print your workbook, and get ready to take some notes. Get you a cup of coffee or tea, get you a glass of water, get you a glass of anything else that you want, because you are off the clock when you do this. Directions to sign up and to get your webinar are below. At the minimum, I hope that you get a sense of validation from this webinar, and that teletherapy is hard and it is a lot of work. It's so challenging to do that we gotta make and create and participate and take webinars and online courses and seek out resources to help us get better at doing it. So that in itself means that it is a challenge, right? So hopefully you feel validated that you are that you're doing everything that you can to rise up to meet that challenge. Hopefully, most likely, you will get a lot from this webinar and learn a lot of teletherapy hacks. Thanks. Holla Koala.